Hello, I'm going to be going over this problem. So we have a rectangle that has a length 14 yards less than 2 times its width. Okay, so let's start looking at that. So the length is equal to 14 yards less than 2 times the width. So let's do 2 times the width, we'll call it W, and it's less than 14 yards less than 2 times its width. So that's going to be our length, and we know that our width, we're just going to call it W, and we know that a rectangle, the area of a rectangle is length times width, and that equals the area. Okay, so here we have, we know the length is this, 2W minus 14. Notice we have both of these unknowns in terms of W so that we'll be able to solve it. If we had W and an L, we wouldn't be able to solve it for a specific number. Oops, I meant to write, let's see, the area is 660. Okay, and then we multiply this out. We use the distributive property. 2W times W is 2W squared. And then negative 14 times W is negative 14W. And then what I'll do is, there are a couple of things I could do. All of these are factorable by 2, so maybe I'll do that in a sec. I'm going to get everything over to one side so I can solve for, so I'll have 0 on this side and I can use the quadratic equation. Okay, and so now I have a common factor with all 3 terms, so I'm going to factor out a 2. Let me go over here. So 2, and then I have W squared minus, let me erase that. I've got to take out so that I have 7W and then minus 330. I'm dividing the 660 by 2, and then I have this equal to 0. So this is not factorable. So what I am going to do is use my quadratic equation. And so that formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided, all of this divided by 2a. And the number in front of w squared is my value for a. This is going to be my b value, the negative 7, and then c. So now I'm just going to substitute in. So I have x equals negative b, well that's a negative 7, so that's going to be positive 7 plus or minus, and then b squared is negative 7 times negative 7, so I'm just going to put 49 in there. Negative times a negative is a positive, minus, and then we have negative 7 times a, which is 1, because the number in front of w squared is just 1. I'm not even going to put that in there because I don't have enough room. And then c is 330. Okay, and then this is all being divided by 2 times 1, which is just 2, because a is 1. All right, so now I'm going to simplify. So now I have x equals 7 plus or minus, and then I'm going to use my calculator. So 7 times 3, negative 7 times 330. And I'm coming up with, and this is going to be a positive number because negative times a negative is positive. And then this is all being divided by 2. So now I'm going to combine 49 plus 2310. And then I'm going to take the square root. So then I get 23, let's see, 7 plus or minus 2359 divided by 2. And so now I'm going to take the square root. Have to hit the thing. Okay. And then I'm coming up with like, so then we're left with x equals 7 plus or minus, so the plus or minus, and then 48.57. So I'm not sure how far to round this one. I don't see that in the prompt, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Divide it by 7, and I did round this. So I'm not going to round it in my calculator though, because that can make a difference on your answer. So then I get 55.569, blah, blah, blah. So this is when I'm adding. So my first one's going to be adding. So I get x equals 55.5. Round in there, divided by 2. And I'm dividing it by 2 in my calculator without rounding. Okay, so then I get that x, or w, I should have been calling it w, is equal to 27.78. So this, and why do I know it's that and not the other one? Because if I said 7 minus 48.57, that is going to give me a negative number, and that doesn't work for the width or length. So now I have 27.78 for my width, and then to get my length, all I do is, let me do a different color if it will let me. Let's do blue. Okay, so let's see if that will work for me. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. Oh, it put me in a line thing. Okay. So I'm going to take this equation. Let me see. I'll try it again. Okay. And then I just substitute this in for the width, and then I get, so I'm going to write it down here. So length equals 2 times w, which is 27.78 minus 14. And then I do that in my calculator, times 2, and then minus 14. So my length is around 41.57. And it is yards. So that is my length. And that's what it's asking for. So that is it. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out anytime. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.